Okay, so here's the next stage of the PS3 Rasta color controller. So as you can see, I got a little carried away. I was just gonna touch it up with a little bit of green. Next thing I knew, I actually shot the whole green. Unfortunately, I didn't catch that on video. But as you can see what happened, using the same technique I did with the red, right? Came in, feathered out, feathered out, feathered out. And so we've got a nice solid light green, sunshine yellow, bleeds into the red, blood red. So the next step is go ahead and start hitting it up with some hard coat clear so that paint will last a while, be able to manipulate it and everything without the paint coming off. And then after that, it's just put it back together. So, but I'm really pleased with that. The only thing I'm not happy about is the splatter from the green. Kind of overdid it. Got away from me there a little bit. But overall, very pleased with it. Very happy with this look. I may try and go ahead and mask off here a little bit and shoot some more sunshine, some more of the sunshine yellow, and kind of clean that up a little bit before we do the clear. But yeah, that's where we are. Okay, so I was just talking about shooting up some more sunshine yellow. I've kind of come up with an idea. I took my shadow masks right here, the floating masks. What I did was I just folded them a little bit, and what I'm going to try and do is just kind of go like that. Got my paint good and ready. Okay, and I'm just going to come pretty good and far back and just kind of try to feather it up the middle there, cover up some of that green overspray. Yeah, not so good. And that's about as much as I'm willing to do. Alright, so we'll let that dry, and after it starts to dry, you'll notice I got a little bit of overshadow here and here with the yellow. You wait a couple minutes, and then it'll actually harden up enough that you can kind of dust it off without actually smearing that yellow overspray here. You can see, I'll try and bring it real close so you can see that there's a little overshadow of the yellow here and here, which we don't want. Like I said, I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes, and then I'll actually come in with a clean towel and I'll actually dust it off. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. Should be safe to go ahead and manipulate. And so like I said, I've got some dusting here. Got my nice clean dry towel. And I'm just buffing the red. Most of it's coming right off that yellow overspray that we don't want. Okay, now the green. You guys can see all that. Notice I'm being very careful not to touch the yellow portion which we just shot. There we go. I don't know how much you guys could see of the dusting before, but okay, so I'll just go ahead and present that to you. And you can see I got pretty much 90% of the dusting off the red, and then I drop it, and a good bit of the dusting off the green. So there we go, and completely survived the fall. Yay, no dings, don't have to clean it up and start all over. So there we go. So now it's just a matter of let all that completely harden up, all dry, right? Because it is a Krylon enamel, so you want to give it plenty of time. Plus it rained last night, so humidity is kind of high. Want to give it some extra time, and then I'll shoot it with some clear and put several coats on there. Try and give it that glassed over look, and that'll preserve the paint for a good long while. And then we'll go ahead and present that. I'll go ahead and video the clearing section. For those of you who are watching, maybe you want to do this yourself. When you're shooting a clear coat, give your last coat at least 24 hours to completely set, to completely settle, completely lock up, dry, harden, do all its thing. If you don't, you'll get that wrinkling. Okay, clear coat is the most touchiest coat. Plus it's the last thing you're going to do, so you want to give it the most attention. When you're shooting that clear coat, make sure that there's been at least 24 hours for it to completely dry. I might give it a little bit more because, like I said, it's kind of humid right now. But then we'll go ahead and we'll shoot it, and I'll actually give at least 12 hours between clear coats, just so that each clear coat is completely solidified, completely hardened before I shoot the next one and the next one and the next one. Alright, and if you're in an environment like I am, out here in Arizona, there's a lot of dust and debris. So as I shoot it, once it's all done, I'll actually go ahead and I'll put a clear cover over all this, put like a box, and it'll stand in a non-dusty environment while it's all setting up. So, alright, there we go. That's the PS3 Rasta controller, all the colors done. And we're just letting it completely settle with that last coat of yellow that we just shot right now. Tomorrow I'll come back, I'll shoot all the clear. I guess so one more quick thing before I get everything buttoned up for the day. As you can see, I actually have multiple projects running at any one given time. And that's kind of why the video jumps back and forth and there's time jumps in there. So our PS3 Rasta controller, this is actually, I got this from work. It's actually a black pepper container. And this is also the same container that they use. I was watching the Nemo camera case. This is actually the piece of plastic and lid that they use for that. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so here's our controller. Here's my case. There's actually some Absorb-It-All, you know, the type of stuff that comes in with when you buy brand new shoes, those little white packets that say do not eat. There's some of that in there. And then I've got some padding just so that it's not sitting on the plastic and marring up the paint that might still be setting. So I'm just going to get her in there and place it. Right? Close the lid. And now all that can go ahead and do its thing. It can sit overnight if I need it to, or however long, and dust isn't getting on there. You can, of course, you can use a cardboard box, you use a shoe box, whatever. This is just one of the things I had laying around. I just thought it would be really neat. Hey, you can still kind of see it too. So, just really neat idea. You know, a way to put your project up, let it set and do its thing while you're doing the next stage, and it's not getting dusty. You don't have to worry about that. Alright guys, so that's that, and again we're going to let that sit, and tomorrow we'll come back and we'll shoot the clear.